Hey guys, it's Spees. Well, Blizzcon just wrapped up this weekend, and World of Warcraft had definitely headlined the event and probably had the biggest news ever for World of Warcraft. Not counting the announcement of the initial game, but like all the news that came out for World of Warcraft at this BlizzCon, it was just mind boggling. Not only the big news was they announced not only just the next expansion, but the next three expansions, which the expansions are called The War Within, Midnight, and The Last Titan. And on top of announcing the next three expansions to modern slash retail WoW, there's a lot of stuff about classic, um, you know, Cataclysm Classic is coming, the season of Mastery or whatever, Classic Plus, where they're actually making huge changes to Classic and kind of making it its own game. And if you add in like Hearthstone news and then the newly launched Warcraft Rumble mobile game, probably the biggest explosion of news to come from BlizzCon in the World of Warcraft franchise. But this video is just going to focus on retail modern WoW and more like the story, go over the lore, why they decided to announce the next three expansions at one time. And why did they decide to announce three expansions at one time? It's because they're all part of the World Soul Saga. Thank you, Marvel Cinematic Universe, for making everything have to be a part of a saga now. But it kind of makes sense in World of Warcraft's um, uh, story because as we've been playing World of Warcraft for the past 19 years now, 19, I know, a long time. As we've gone through the story through the years, the expansions, we've learned that the world we live on, called Azeroth, actually houses a world soul that's also named Azeroth. And that's why all the forces of evil are attracted to our planet, either to corrupt it, destroy it, siphon its energy, yada yada yada. And us mortals that just live on the planet have learned to deal with all these outside forces coming in, trying to destroy our planet, corrupt it, and that's why it kind of sucks to live on planet Azeroth. But this has always been the background story of World of Warcraft. Each expansion, we fight some forces of evil. Sometimes we learn that they're trying to destroy the world soul, siphon it off. But now they're finally going to wrap up the storyline. That's been my kind of biggest complaint lately in the WoW storyline. Um, let's see, World of Warcraft Legion. The Legion is coming and they want to destroy the World Soul because they don't want it to be corrupted by the Void forces. So the end of the Legion expansion, we have to protect the World Soul. And then Battle for Azeroth was turns into we have to protect the World Soul from the old god, the Zoth, who's trying to corrupt it. Oh no, we gotta protect the World Soul again, which flows into the Shadowlands expansion, where the jailer was trying to siphon off the energy of the World Soul to remake whatever he's trying to do. But once again, the main crux of the storyline is we have to protect Azeroth, the World Soul, again. And now, at least in the Dragonflight expansion, it doesn't seem like we're protecting the World Soul. I was tired of that trope of the end of every expansion. It's like, oh god, we have to save the World Soul from being destroyed, corrupted, or killed by siphoning all her energy. But now they're finally going to wrap up this crux of storytelling they've been leaning on with the World Soul. She's finally going to hatch, maybe, probably in the Last Titan. So they're finally finishing this big, long story they've been building up over the last 20 years. And they said this saga is going to wrap up by the year 2030, so I assume that the War Within, they've already announced, it's going to come out in 2024. And they say they kind of want to be kind of a little bit quicker with their expansion, so I imagine 2024 for War Within, 2026 for Midnight, 2028 for The Last Titan to come out, and then its story will wrap up in 2030. and then they can move on. They could finally move past the whole Azeroth World Soul story, and then they can come up with something else to drive the narrative of the Warcraft universe from then on. So I'm kind of happy with this idea because, like I said, it's been like the crux of the storytelling they've been kind of leaning on for the longest time. We have to protect the world soul. We have to protect the world soul. So let's talk about the future of like maybe let's just kind of speculate what each expansion is going to be like. We can kind of guess what the War Within is going to be about because they announced a lot of it. We're going to go underground into Azeroth, and Azeroth herself maybe is calling out to certain lore characters. We have Anduin and Thrall here. They're getting visions, voices sent to them saying, I need help. Come save me. And they think it's Azeroth, but the twist might be it might not be Azeroth. Who knows? And so they're going to go deep underground. When Sargeras stabbed the planet with the giant sword at the end of Legion, the whole beginning story of Battle for Azeroth was to help heal the planet, but maybe that was only the surface level damage. Now we have to go within the planet and heal the damage, the main crux of the damage caused by the sword. So let's just have the awesome trailer that they released just play in the background that I talk about like my theories of where the story's going. Now, one of the things Thrall says at the end of this trailer is the sword that was plunged into the planet was aimed at someone, and we all just assumed that Sargeras was probably aiming for the World Soul, but they could always do a twist where like maybe he was aiming for like Old God corruption or Void corruption. And that could be the twist of with the War Within, where we thought Sargeras was really attacking the World Soul with the sword, but he was really attacking something else, and that's what we end up being the ultimate boss in the War Within. The thing he was really afraid of inside the planet, not the World Soul. That's my guess of where the War Within's going to go. Then we go on to World of Warcraft Midnight, where obviously it just seems like the Void is finally going to do his last ditch attack on Azeroth. Old gods were the Voids, like frontline armies. They sent it. The old gods corrupted the planet. It seems now that we have destroyed them all and they're dead. But maybe we'll learn through World of Warcraft Midnight they're not really dead, and we can have all the old gods come back: Cthulhu, N'Zoth, Yogg-Saron, all that, and then we finally fight the Void Lords, the big bad Void things. They try to tear through reality and get to Azeroth to finally corrupt it. My kind of guess where World of Warcraft Midnight's going to go, and maybe they bring in the Light versus Void story where we learn like the Light is not really as good as we thought, and then maybe the big twist in that expansion is the Light comes through and they're like, oh, all this Void stuff's happening out to Azeroth, maybe we just gonna just eradicate it with all our lightiness, and that could be a cool twist in the expansion. Then we're ending up with The Last Titan, which they kind of announced that all the Titans are coming back to Ulduar. We go back to Northrend, probably to witness the birth of the Titan Azeroth. And of course, we can getting some hints now in Dragonflight of like maybe the Titans aren't as good and malevolent as we thought. So the Titans could come back and be like, we don't like how the hatching of Azeroth is going. She's been corrupted by the Void and fell and all this. And if she's not hatching as a perfect Titan, they might not like that. And that could be the twist. The Titans are trying. They're like, oh, we don't like how Azeroth is going. Let's just like, reanimate her, or use our powers to delete everything and start over. Or maybe Azeroth comes out and she is truly evil and we have to kill her. Maybe that could be the twist. So I'm excited where the story of World of Warcraft is going over the next 7-8 years. Goddamn, like look at the animations in the cinematic. Got to give Blizzard's team props for these animations. So I'm gonna make more videos about other news that came out at BlizzCon, but this is just wanted to go over just the lore, and we can end off with them looking at the giant sword, the thing that's probably going to propel the story of the next few expansions. They finally come back to the sword that they've been ignoring for a while. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time.